Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Giving away your money is always unpleasant, but our OP made a whole show out of it because their landlord was a pain in the butt and exceedingly lazy. Paying our slumlord the rent before Coinstar was a thing. When I was a kid in the 80s, you could rent a 3-bedroom house for $700. I think it may have been a little less than that, but it was around that much. Also, I have to assume that this was a completely illegal rental anyway, because there's no way in hell this place would ever pass an inspection. The yard alone was pretty big, but it was covered in 6-foot-tall plus weeds and poison ivy. It took months to clean it up. The house itself was even worse. We had black stains on the walls and ceilings from soot coming out of the heating vent. Our cesspool was clogged. So instead of actually having something done to fix it, the landlord just decided to shovel a massive hole alongside it, so it was really just one big crap pit, which smelled amazing in summer. We had running water from a well, but it came out of the faucets red and brown because the inside of the well was completely rusted. We would bring huge water bottles to my grandpa's to fill up with water. The well also froze in winter, so our neighbors were nice enough to let us attach long hoses to their outside spigots so we'd have water. But the worst was when the wall alongside the bathtub collapsed because it never had any insulation in it, and it was so crappily made that the rain had slowly been rotting through the siding and into the plasterboard until it just gave out. For weeks, the landlord wouldn't fix it, and my mom was super PO'd because she had 2 young children that she had to bathe. So we ended up having to take them at our grandfather's house, which was a 45-minute drive each way. So my mom and my stepfather decided that they weren't going to pay the rent until the wall was fixed, and the landlord countered by saying that he wasn't going to get it fixed until we paid the rent. My stepfather and grandfather had several of those really big water bottles filled with change. They had been saving them for years and years. And this was back when they didn't have Coinstar, so you'd have to go to the bank, get the paper sleeves, then put each and every coin into the rolls, and then drive all of them back to the bank. The change in those jars were mostly pennies, nickels, and dimes because we used the quarters at the laundromat. So finally, my stepfather tells the landlord that he can come by and pick up the rent money, and he said that he apologizes, but some of it's in change because money's been a little tight. My stepfather said that it was mostly quarters though, and the landlord agreed to it because some money's better than no money. My stepfather had put all the change in boxes just to make it even more inconvenient trying to get them in and out of the car. He wheeled all the boxes out, stacked up on a dolly, and loaded them into the back of the landlord's car. Every time he put a box on top of the other, he'd hold them up at chest level and just let them drop so some of the sides of the boxes split and the change just fell out all over his trunk. They were so heavy that every time he dropped a box in, the back of the car started dipping lower and lower. They were also yelling at each other while this was going on. I don't know what was said because we were watching from inside the house, but it was funny as hell to watch. When the landlord drove away, the back end of his car was so weighed down that it dragged and sparked. Shortly thereafter, the landlord managed to get an entire new piece of plasterboard to cover the hole in the wall, which of course was the bare minimum, but it was better than having to view the crap pit outside every time we had to take a bath. I know it's not the most malicious of compliance, but it was funny when it happened. You have your own kids to look after. Can you imagine forcing them to pay for your vacation tickets? Ridiculous. And our second story. It took me 40 minutes to park. You're giving me new shoes. Today I had a peach of a customer come in. I'm a manager of a shoe store. I've been working with the company for 9 years. Today I had a woman come in. She'd purchased a pair of children's Velcro Skechers. She had initially come in Monday after I left. She didn't have the shoes with her and was asking about potential options as the shoes were damaged. My shift leader at the time told her she'd have to bring them in when I was on shift and they'd be inspected. Fast forward to today. She'd come in with the shoes for me to take a look at, no problem. I'll be me, she'll be SL for Skechers Lady. SL. Hello, I purchased these Skechers a little over a month ago. The Velcro's no longer sticking. Me. All right, let me take a look. She then places the shoes on the desk. Typically, Velcro no longer sticking isn't a defect. This commonly happens when the Velcro is jammed with fluff or dirt. This is something I'll attempt to fix and show customers how to do, or this is one of those times I'll make an exception, depending on where. These shoes, on the other hand, look like she had literally walked 500 miles and then another 500 more through mud, lakes, and just general destruction. Even if it had only been a little over a month, they were heavily worn. The shoes still had mud stains all over them. I inspected the shoes and found the Velcro was no longer sticking due to water damage. It also looked like the customer tried to brush the Velcro with a hairbrush, making the Velcro basically fluff and frayed. Me. Unfortunately, miss, this is not a defect and does not fall under our policy. SL. It took me 45 minutes to park. You're doing something for me. Me. We cover 1 year reasonable wear manufacturer's defect warranty. Certain things aren't covered under that policy. Velcro in this condition does not fall under it. SL. Your staff told me on Monday that I could come back and you would be giving me new shoes. Me, knowing this is bullcrap. Okay, miss, I'm sorry for the confusion. However, these things are determined on a case-to-case basis. SL. So you don't train your staff? Me. I do. This is not in their job description. SL. That's absolutely ridiculous. You're clearly not trained either. This is a defect. Your staff told me I had a 1 year defect warranty. Me. I'm actually trained by the vendors themselves, and no, this is not a defect. SL. The Velcro isn't sticking. Do something about this right now. Me. Again, miss, this isn't a defect, and with the shoes in this condition, I cannot issue an exchange or refund. SL. Yes, it is. I've come in here twice now, and I was told you would be giving me new shoes. So do your job and do something for me right now. Me. We're just going in circles with this conversation now? The product is not defective. This is a result of heavy wear. SL. She's only been wearing them for a month. My daughter needs shoes. Go get me shoes for her now. At this point, I'm over it. She got her answer. She just didn't like it. It's a busy Saturday and my store's full of customers. Me. Unfortunately, miss, that will not be happening today. SL. I want to talk to someone higher up than you. You're clearly dense. Me. Sure, here's customer service's number. You can speak to a supervisor there. SL. You know what? I'll call them here because I'm not coming back again. While I'm writing down the number, she tells her daughter to tell other customers not to shop here because we don't have a refund policy. She also told her daughter to follow me and let me know she needed new shoes. Her daughter was hyperactive and chatty. In another situation, I'd love this child. So she did just that. I'm assisting other customers at this point. She's standing at my cash desk yelling to one of the reps on the phone. I didn't hear the entire conversation as I was running around like crazy. The bits I did hear were quite funny. This was a level 10 adult hissy fit. SL. Get someone who's actually trained down here now. She has no idea what she's doing. The Velcro isn't sticking. My daughter needs shoes. It's your fault she's gonna have to walk around barefoot. I'll come after your company when she gets sick from not wearing shoes outside. I want to talk to your supervisor. You are the supervisor? Give me another one to talk to. She told me Velcro isn't under warranty. What do you mean it's a case-by-case basis? So she's discriminating against me? I want to talk to someone else now. Her district manager should be delivering new shoes to my house. I came in today and it took me 40 minutes to park. Need new shoes now. I'm cashing someone out while she's standing there still going off. She was so ridiculous, I was having a hard time keeping it together. SL. You will have another supervisor call me no later than 10 a.m. on Tuesday, or I'm going to the press. She hung up now and looked at me. SL. Just so you know, I was told on Monday that I would be getting new shoes. You then told me Velcro isn't covered under warranty, and they told me it was. So clearly, you're just as stupid as your choice. Me. Okay, well, that's fine. All three responses still gave you the same answer, which was no. SL. Also, I don't appreciate the smirk on your face. I'm never shopping here again. Me. Great, thank you. She then storms out of the store telling customers not to shop here because we have no return policy. And our last story. I started working for a small branch of a company and got along really well with my boss, the branch manager, and used to compare him to Michael Scott. Not to his face. I would have been Jim Halpert in this scenario. After working there for a while, my boss was approached with an awesome offer to go manage a bigger branch a few hours away. This was because the owner wanted to place his son as the branch manager of the small location and needed to vacate a position to do so. My boss graciously turned down the offer. The kids had just started at their new schools and he didn't want to uproot them again. He'd relocated to take his current position. This was not taken well by our corporate office, but they couldn't fire him for it, not directly. A few weeks later, I saw our office manager, a lady nobody in the office liked, in my boss's office filing paperwork, or so it seemed, which was odd but not alarming. The next week, my boss was going to be on vacation, and all the office staff had to attend a meeting for non-salaried employees at the corporate headquarters. While we were at the corporate thing, our office manager handed out new office keys to all of us, the 3 that were there. My boss was on vacation and salaried. I asked, "Why are we getting new keys?" And she said, it was because someone lost theirs. None of us had lost their keys. We were all sitting together and could easily confirm this, so I texted my boss to ask him, and he had no clue what she was up to. I got a bad feeling about what was happening. I called him after the meeting and told him to come by my house on Sunday when he got back from out of town. I explained that I was 95% certain they were planning to fire him on Monday. I didn't know what reason, I just had a gut feeling. I said it was too bad because if he was fired, I wouldn't want to work there anymore, knowing that they would do shady stuff like that. He jokingly said that he should fire me first so I could go on unemployment. I laughed and told him that he should write me a termination notice, and then if he doesn't get fired on Monday, it would be just between us. But if he does get fired, I could take it to the unemployment office and have proof that I was fired for something that would make me eligible for benefits. So he did. And he was fired Monday for misfiling paperwork of some sort, and I definitely did not go back to work. They tried calling me in, and I told them that my boss had fired me already. I took the proof with me to the unemployment office and was good to go, until they, former employer, disputed my claim. I had a hearing on the phone with the unemployment office and my corporate HR person. HR, he wasn't fired. The paperwork he submitted with his claim isn't the right paperwork. It should have come from HR, not his manager. Unemployment. Why did the manager not do that then? Where is he? HR. He no longer works for the company. Unemployment. Why did he leave? HR. He was fired. Unemployment. Why was he fired? HR, mumbling, for doing paperwork incorrectly. Unemployment. Well, that's hardly the fault of the terminated employee. How is he to know that the paperwork is invalid, that it's coming from their supervisor? They told my HR that they could rehire me or not, but my claim was valid. They couldn't rehire me because they'd already filled the position, so I got to collect unemployment for a while before moving on to my next job. My former boss is doing well now, it seems, and I don't feel bad at all. For the record, it's very likely that they would have invented a way of firing me after they got rid of my boss. Had they done that, they would have made certain that my termination was such that I wouldn't be eligible for unemployment. I took that power away from them by getting fired preemptively. I'm also positive that when I saw the office manager in his office while he was away, she was arranging the setup for him to be fired. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.